I'm Sabran, an urban black male raised with traditional Christian values, diagnosed with clinical depression, who also happens to be gay. But that's getting way ahead of this story. A story that began with a boy named Calvin who cured one of my worst earth-spinning hangovers with world-stopping caramel kisses. Our feelings heated to a boil, and affection overflowed and spilled down the confines of our friendship. Like the night I sat in a chair listening to the hum of liners Calvin used on my head, his big rough hands guided my face with minimal verbal direction. I reached in my wallet. "Your money's no good here." I kissed him on the cheek. "What was that about?" "Well, you said my money was no good, so I wanted to give you something." He stooped down and whispered, "I think I owe you some change." He gave me a change. He gave me his love that night. Time narrowed down to us and my conflicted emotions. Amidst the chorus singing of "Sweet Love," there was one loud off-key note. "This is a sin." A repeating refrain that left my body rigid in Calvin's arms that next morning. "Okay, look," he began. "I wanted to be with you since the first day I met you, and not just sexually. I mean, you make me feel good. Maybe there's a better way to say it, but that's how I feel." Feeling the need to atone for our expression of love, I went in search of the answers that I've always looked for at the church as I've been taught all my life. Pastor reminded us that God could do anything, imparting his true spirit into every true believer, enabling them to walk upright. The congregation bore witness with a resounding "Amen." How that same spirit would help the drunk to stop drinking. Amen. That same spirit would help the fornicator to stop fornicating. Amen. The homosexual from being perverse in God's eyes. Collective groans, moans, and general sounds of disgust filled the air, suffocating me. It is an abomination. Amen. These words continuously shred my soul, but send my mind to the feet of the Almighty, pleading with this same God to change me into something worthy of his love, something to be worthy of love by his saints, something worthy of loving myself. Trying to outrun the deadly depression, my mental and emotional defenses eroded to a paper-thin veneer. I prayed to God for the soundness of my mind. He brought to my remembrance the multitude of victories he had given me. My mind a bit clearer, I pulled out my cell phone and took the first of many steps towards taking my own happiness into my own hands. "Calvin, can I come over? Come over." Things got so good between us. Every moment a sensation of infinity, feeling that I've always been and would always be encompassed by love. We had been hopeless romantics, both certain of our status, but decided that as a couple, we should know. "We ran the test twice," Dr. Hansen said with eyes that attempted to soften the blow. "Okay," I heard myself say with an eerie calm. There was more conversation about my emotional welfare and my past experiences with chronic depression. Calvin wrapped his arms around me. The dam cracked, and the first tear flowed. Drowning in fear-filled tears, I pushed away from Calvin's chest, looked down and within, and reached out for the only help I had ever really known. "I come to you, the only wise, the only living God, all that I could ever need, asking for your forgiveness, thanking you and praising your name. I thank you for the gift of your name, the power in your name, the wisdom and the ability to call on your name. Jesus, I come to you because I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do." My prayers bypassed my mouth and flew from my heart right up to heaven. That first week was a mixture of confused emotions, steaming ahead on the proactive train, destination, some sense of normality, with Calvin acting as co-engineer when I allowed him to do so. Weeks became months. We saw each other less and less. The time apart built a new resolve, a new fortitude. The flood of tears receded. Finally, I cornered Calvin at home. "Can you please look at me?" I asked. "I have to leave out in a minute," he says, after a moment pregnant with silence. I tried in vain to will him to face me. "Okay, I'm gonna leave then." I stood and heard the remote fall to the couch. He quickly, desperately grabbed my arm. Calvin looked up at me, his eyes pleading for understanding, for forgiveness. "I just can't do this anymore." I was surprised to hear his voice crack over the sound of my own heart breaking. The sensation of infinity collapsed as our hands let go.